After dropping his son at college, the father and son duo experience a living nightmare when the demons of their past suddenly return to haunt them both after opening a door. Will they survive? I'm about to tell you. The movie opens with the ending of the previous film, where Josh and Dalton, a father and son, are getting their memories of the further erased. Jumping 9 years later, we learn that Josh and Renai are now divorced, and Josh is struggling to keep up with his memories. Suddenly, his mother Lorraine passes away, and the family, Josh, Renai, and their 3 kids, reunite to go to her funeral. Due to the divorce, Dalton has become estranged from his father and blames him for the divorce. In order to repair their relationship, Renai suggests that Josh drive Dalton to college, as it will give them an opportunity to bond. At the funeral, Josh meets a man named Carl, who said he used to know his mother Lorraine. As Josh walks towards his car and texts Dalton if he can drive him to college, a blurry figure is seen walking towards it. After he receives a text from Dalton confirming his trip, Josh gets into the car and the blurry figure has disappeared. Josh ends up driving Dalton to his liberal arts school, where he meets his roommate Chris Winslow. As Dalton puts his stuff away, he and Josh get into an argument which quickly gets heated, and Josh leaves in tears. On the first day of class, Dalton's teacher makes them tear up their best work and reach out to a memory that has deeply nested in them. This ends up triggering Dalton's memories of the further, and he starts drawing a door before a hand pushes against his, causing him to bleed on the door. This also appears to awaken something in Josh. This part of the movie is one that truly captured just what's in store for the family. As Josh gets an MRI scan, Dalton's drawing has opened the door to the further, and Josh starts experiencing frightening things while in the MRI, such as a demon crawling on him. As he wakes up frightened, the doctor explains that he had been sleeping for the past 15 minutes, and the scan went great. This further makes the doctor ask Josh about any mental illness in his family, to which Josh explains he doesn't know of any. Back at the college, Chris tries to befriend Dalton. Dalton reveals to Chris he has no memory of when he was 10, and that he has been afraid of the dark since. Chris takes Dalton to a frat party. They sneak into one of the rooms, where Dalton ends up in the further and encounters the spirits of a young frat pledge that died during a hazing incident. Quickly, Chris finds him, and they leave the party. That night, Dalton astral projects into the further. He goes into Chris's new room and uses her keyboard, which wakes her up and alerts her to his presence. Back in Dalton's room, he tries to explain to Chris the visions he's been seeing. Chris digs deep into astral projections and finds a video from Tucker and Specs explaining it, along with a video of Elise Rayner, who Dalton vaguely remembers. Back home, Josh is trying to smash that like button. Oh gosh, no. He's trying to do an exercise where he hands pictures of his loved ones, trying to remember them. As he is doing the exercise, the same blurry figure that appeared at the funeral appears outside and walks slowly before eventually crashing the window and attacking Josh. Afterward, Josh finds a box of pictures of Ben Burton, a mental patient who was supposed to have been treated for schizophrenia. Since there were pictures of Lorraine inside, Josh believes Ben was his father. Ben had the ability to travel to the further, but at the time, Lorraine had no idea how to help him. Inside the box, there was a note that read, "This ends with me," indicating that Ben ended his life to stop the rest of his family from entering the further. Chris and Dalton sneak back into the frat room for astral projection, since Dalton wants to find the pledge's spirit and communicate with him. While there, a demonic entity attacks Dalton while he is in the further, and Chris is attacked in the real world by a demonic presence as well. As Chris is taken to the infirmary, she tells Dalton she won't be helping him anymore. Josh visits Renai to speak about his father and his latest revelations. Throughout the conversation, Josh tries to remember what went wrong in the past 10 years, and we finally learn why the two got divorced. Josh, possessed by one of the demons in the further, chased Renai and the kids with a hammer, which is why Dalton drew the event with Josh looking monstrous. Josh then says he needs to go back to the further once more to finally put an end to everything. In the meantime, Dalton wants to find out the truth about the further. While there, he relives the memory of Josh trying to attack his family. He tries to stop his father, But instead, he ends up in the lipstick-faced demon's lair, where he is attacked by the bride in black. He gets a flashback of everything that happened when he was 10. Earlier, Dalton had sent a picture of his painting to Foster, and there was only one way to save Dalton, and that was to send Josh into the further. As Josh is trying to find Dalton, he sees that the lipstick-faced demon has taken over Dalton's body and is trying to attack Chris. Luckily, Josh finds Dalton in time and raises the hammer to free Dalton from the chains. However, Dalton believes he's trying to harm him and yells at him to stop. At this moment, we can see Dalton reliving the same scene where Josh raises a hammer at him when he was 10. Josh breaks the chain and manages to bring the demon back to the further and saves Chris as well. Both of them try to find a way out, but the lipstick-faced demon follows them. Josh manages to hold the demon behind the red door as he tells Dalton to go back to the real world, while he stays back to finish it all. Convinced it's up to him to end the terror, he is at the red door that Dalton drew, while the lipstick-faced demon is trying to get through. As Dalton goes back to his room, the movie takes a turn as he begins to paint over the door, painting it black. Although the demon manages to push his arm through the door to get Josh, Dalton is quick enough to prevent the demon from coming through. By painting the door black, it causes the door to completely disappear and trap the lipstick-faced demon behind it. But is this enough to keep them locked in forever? Could they ever return? Before going back to the real world, Josh meets his father as he is smiling at him, knowing what Josh accomplished. Josh appears as he is finally able to forgive him for leaving him behind. Josh finally makes it back to the real world and finds Renai and Foster relieved to see him alive and well. That evening, Dalton calls them, hoping to see his dad is okay. Dalton and Chris also rekindle their friendship and stay with each other when everything is done. Later on, Josh and Renai appear to be reconciling, so he may eventually move back in with her. By the end of the movie, Elise visits Josh to see how he is. She further tells him that he and Dalton have a bright future together, and that he will one day tell his mother all the things he wanted to right then. Finally, at the end of the movie, Josh visits Dalton at school. As he walks into Dalton's room, he finds that Dalton has added a picture of the time Josh carried him out of the further. The two then share a long-awaited hug before the screen cuts to black. Subscribe for more videos like this, and turn on the notifications so you never miss any of them.